Thanks to those joining me live and to those that will be joining me and Reggie Owens on Archive. What's going on, Reggie?
Man, what's happening, my brother D Style, man? Just in here chilling.
That's right. We're back every Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at D-Style Boxing. Throw a jab at the like button. Do not forget, if you like the content, go ahead and subscribe. And also hit that bell button. That way you're notified every time D-Style Boxing comes on live. You know, I look at the analytics sometimes, and I notice only like 10% of the people that come live get it by notification, right? So the way to fix that, make sure you hit that bell button. That way you're notified. But if you can't, I get it. It is late, but you could always catch us on Archive, of course. Okay, make sure you subscribe to Reggie Owens. The name of the channel is up there, Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens. So make sure you do that. All right. Reggie, right out of the gate, just right out, like just like that. Bam! All right. These segmented weekly, we're going to start it right off the bat. The feminine asshole of the week. All right. Talk to us. Who's the feminine asshole of the week?
Man, my feminine asshole of the week is no other than the WBC president, Mauricio Suleiman. And this ain't coming off the heels of his comments of trying to support Jimenez. That's part of it. But his comments of what he shared when he wanted to tell a story about Muhammad Ali is my reason behind this. And this interview was done by Fight Hub TV here on YouTube, where the story he decides to share of Muhammad Ali is a story of disrespect. I found a lot of disrespect in it. I didn't think nothing was funny or cool about it when sharing the story of such a legendary, figure, an iconic figure to the sport, to the world, and to America. The two short stories he decides he wants to tell is the first story he goes into about Muhammad Ali being over his house. Supposedly, he's in their town looking for a cure for his Parkinson's or whatnot. So he stays at their house. He's up there praying, and he's acting like he's the one they left him in the care of Muhammad Ali to tend to him. And Muhammad Ali, being Muslim, knowing that they pray 5 times a day, he asks a young Mauricio which direction is. Mauricio doesn't even know, but the guy in the interview tells him Mecca, but I believe they face towards the east when they're doing their prayer. And Mauricio is just like, he don't know. He just points in a direction and states that Muhammad Ali would just point that direction and start praying. And then he's laughing about it as if Muhammad Ali prayed in the wrong direction. Now, I'm sure Muhammad Ali will be conscious enough, or being whoever is with him, knowing of his faith, would know which direction he's supposed to pray in. The second story goes to about him being at a luncheon in '88 for Tyson. And about during this luncheon, Muhammad Ali tells him he's hungry. He runs over somewhere. He finds some food. He just grabs it, walks it over there. Muhammad Ali's just chomping down on it, and he's just eating more of it. And then when he says, Muhammad Ali asks him, what is it? He tells him pork, and then says he's spitting it out. So I'm like, I just find a lot of wholeness when it comes to anything coming out the mouth of Mauricio Suleiman. The stuff he's doing with the organization, and with the title, he's doing a lot of whole stuff. And I do not like this cat. I don't even care about sanctioning bodies. I can give 2 shits about belts. I'm into the sport due to fighters. But the feminine hoe for me is Mauricio. He's a mark to me.
I got you, man. Well, there you go, guys. That's the feminine asshole of the week. And what do you think about, also, because, he was defending Jimenez as well. You know what I mean? And what do you think of that? They're giving her 10 days to come up with an excuse, I guess. Because if I murdered somebody, I'm sure the police would say, hey, you have 10 days to come up with a story, and we're going to come back, all right?
Yeah, I think he's a hole for that. I see they put some temporary suspension out on her, but his words are trying to defend her. You haven't defended other women in the past who are represented by your same sanctioning body. You haven't stepped on the ledge to come out and defend them from attacks. from people in the public, but you defend this woman. And then it comes out that this woman has failed for what she was being accused of, not just for her looks. And now you look like a goddamn fool. And this is the thing I hate with Mauricio. And then when he made these Ali comments, is like, man, F this punk, man.
Well, there you go, guys. That's the feminine asshole of the week. I have not checked out that interview myself, but you know, I will say, you know, that the WBC just in general have been a bunch of feminine assholes. Okay, but that's a different story. Shout out to A-Rod on here, man. Brooklyn Child Boxing. What's going on, bro? Tone Rounds and salute to Reggie Owens. What's going on? Make sure you guys throw again a jab at the like button. This is February 6th edition of Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens every Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific. 2020 has been it's had a pretty decent start. Reggie, what do you think of 2020 so far? Just a little over a month in already. You know what I mean? And do you think 2020 is going to be a better year for boxing than 2019? I wonder what the chat thinks. Do you believe that this will be a better year than last year? I think last year was pretty good. You think 2020 is going to overcome 2019?
Hell yeah, absolutely. Because what I seen, it already started off with a lot of heat with the what's his name, J-Rock losing his title, and then the fashion in which he lost it. You didn't see Tevin Farmer get upset. The women's boxing done heated up. You got this situation coming out of the women's division, a woman's wig being knocked off, things like that. Now you got the rematch to Wilder Fury. You got Anthony Joshua and Wilder or Fury in the kind of in the tape deck right now. Who else we got? We got Earl Spence's return, seeing who he's going to fight. Manny Pacquiao is still out there. Terrence Crawford, Earl Spence. There's so many hot fights that have, they have played it out for as long as they can play it out, and it's bound to it's bound to collide right here in 2020. So I definitely think 2020 is much bigger. You got some of the other prospects who have been kind of on their way of building up. Now they're jumping into the fray of things. You got Daniel Dubois coming out here. He's going to have a fight. If he's victorious, he'll come out with an even bigger fight or a bigger name still in 2020. What's the name? Jaron Ennis. He's looking to step into the fray of things. So 2020 about to be hot, and more of these women bouts. So
yeah. I mean, this is getting good. It could get even better. And I do agree with you. I do agree. I think 2020 is going to be a big year for boxing. All right. Just in general. And I can't wait for it, man. I mean, it's looking like that. It's projected that way so far. Anything could happen. We're going to have a letdown. Last year did have a couple gaps in between early in the year. So the fact that we're starting strong, if the second half is even better, then, hey, it can't go wrong. You know what I mean? Christian Indabio says Wilder Fury 2, possibly Wilder Fury 3, Pacquiao Garcia, Pacquiao Spence, Canelo Triple G 3, all possible fights in 2020. And of course, there's other ones, other fights that can happen. Speaking of fights in 2020, right? Regis Prograis from Louisiana, all right, that resides in Texas, said he would hurt Hooker with one punch and knock him out, Rich. Okay, he said it would knock him out. And Bad Lift took, I believe, first reported back on the 24th last month that there's serious talks between Hooker and Prograis. I think it's a great matchup, especially for both guys. Crossroads. Do you agree with Regis Prograis? You think he will hurt Hooker and knock him the F out?
In the fight, hell yeah, he'll knock him out, man. I just think Hooker has a very bad style of boxing, man. Hooker just doesn't box right to me, and I think the style matchup would be very bad. I don't think he can overcome the aggression that Regis is going to come out there with. I think Hooker hasn't adjusted to fighting in uncomfortable areas in a fight, and right. Regis is going to be up in his shit, and he's a dude who tries to maintain distance. He's very slow on his punch as far as his follow up behind throwing out a punch. What's behind it is very slow. And Regis' activity is just going to be too much, in my opinion, for Maurice Hooker. And I got Regis stopping Maurice, but not with no one punch.
Yeah, probably not the first punch he lands, you know what I mean? But, I might shock a couple people here. I might. Okay, shout out to Cali Enigma on here, and he says no chance of Wilder Joshua. Although if Wilder Joshua were to fight in 2020, I mean, man, would that be huge for the sport? Okay, but I agree. I don't think the fight happens. Look, I would favor Regis Prograis in this fight. I would, but I don't know if it's a walk in the park. You know what I mean? I think it will be a tough fight for Regis Prograis. The fact is, I believe Maurice Hooker would land on Regis Prograis, might even hurt him a couple times. I think this is a competitive fight, Reggie. I think it's a competitive fight. He might knock him out. I mean, no doubt about it. I mean, he might, in the end, wear him out. But people forget Hooker Ramirez was competitive until the stoppage.
Yeah, but it was still once Ramirez put him in these uncomfortable ranges and positions, you just start to see him break. You say right. him trying to avoid moments of engaging with Ramirez. Regis ain't gonna give him enough of that time. And Ramirez is a dude who likes to fight. You know, he works his way on the inside, but he starts from the outside. He's a distance type fighter, and I don't think it's nothing for this style. I don't think he can change it up.
Well, I'll tell you what. If Hooker actually uses his height and his length of arms and all that, he would be big problems for a lot of guys, which we always have to kind of note. But I gotta tell you, man, I think people are underestimating how much that is not a gimme for Regis Prograis. You know, and I think people are going off of the fact that Ramirez knocked him out. I think Ramirez had a really good game plan going into that fight. I think people underestimate the pressure that Ramirez could put on guys, but it's a little different to what a Regis Prograis does, you know, and I just don't know if Regis is going to be able to stay front foot heavy on Hooker, because Hooker's going to land on him. You know what I mean? So I do agree that he would win, Regis Prograis, but I don't think it's a walk in the park, and it's definitely not I'm just going to go walk in there and just punch him and knock him out type fight either. You know what I mean? I don't think Regis is going to knock him out just like that. But not to mention that would be a big fight for Hooker. I mean, do you agree that he's going to prepare like hell for that fight? Because he knows people are saying you're going to get knocked out and expecting him to lose.
Yeah, most definitely, because I think he's over there with Bomac in him, so he'll have to come prepared. Now, if he can, my thing with him is he has to be able to increase his punch volume, like the recoil of his punches, putting it out, getting it back, putting it back out. If he can improve on that, along with using his legs but not backing up so damn much and establishing a punch that pops Regis enough to where he hesitant, right, then maybe he can pull it off. But Regis is a dog up in that ring, man.
Yeah. I think ultimately I do agree with that. Ultimately, in the second half of the fight, maybe late in the fight, Regis will take over. The question is, will it be too late? Can Hooker put enough rounds in the bag? And if Hooker does not engage late in the fight and decides to just box and use his height, I think it can be he can present problems for Regis Prograis. Okay, I just don't want people to sleep on the fact that that's a fight. You know what I mean? It's just in my opinion. But every time a guy gets knocked out or something, people they forget the dudes can fight. You know what I mean? Remember when J-Rock got knocked out by Charlo and everybody just wrote him off? You know what I mean? And came back and pulled out the big upset versus Hurd, and then look at what happened like to J-Rock now. Like, you know what I mean? Boxing is just like that, and people have amnesia. You know, when a guy gets knocked out, they just forget. Hey, remember, not that long ago, Hooker was a title holder. He was top 4 in the division. Don't forget what put him there. I think that's a tough fight, man. You have any final words on Regis Prograis versus Maurice Hooker?
No, man, I just want to see them both get back in. And Regis trying to get back in the win column. And to me, Maurice still has to get back in the win column. That last win, I can't count it for Maurice. So he's trying to get back in the win column as well.
Definitely. No, I definitely agree with you, man. You guys are tuning in to Boxing Conversation with Reggie Owens, February 6th edition. Make sure you throw a jab at that like button. We got a lot of great boxing topics here. I want to know what the chat thinks. Christian NWO says, in 2012, Pacquiao got knocked out by Marquez, who would have saw that Manny would still be relevant in 2020. The guy must have good vision. 2020. Whoever saw that, that's for sure. Okay, no doubt about that. Apparently somebody put in that Cowboy quit versus Connor. All right. All right. Stormy B-Man on here. He says salute to us, of course, and to the chat. What's going on to Stormy B-Man? Bomac trains Hooker now. Very interesting. Okay, well, we'll see how it goes, man. I think do not sleep on Hooker. All right? That's all I'm saying. And don't forget, fighters can improve. All right, let's talk a little bit about UFC, man. Stepping a little bit away from, the boxing realm and all that. Reggie, I'll be honest, I don't know much about this Dominic Reyes guy. All right, talk to us. Does this guy present any problems for John Jones? Should anybody be like, yeah, he has a shot? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you see this fight?
Man, I'm worried about this one, man. I'm worried about Jones's streak as remaining as a champion. And this dude, he worries me, man. Every time I feel worried about fighters who I really like in something, those butterflies I get, sometimes they come true. And I see this dude posing some issues for John Jones in this fight. And this is a dude who's coming to the UFC. He's stopping stuff. He can punch. Okay. He can punch moving backwards. He's long and rangy, so he'll be able to stand up there, be able to box with John Jones. Who knows if he can defend to where John Jones is unable to take him down, such as like the success that Gustafsson had in the first fight. Owen St. Croix had that same kind of success with John Jones. This last guy had real good success against John Jones and the fight not going to the ground. But this guy right here is pretty good on his feet. So him standing up, being able to pop John Jones with some of these punches is something that it got me worried about Jones going into this fight. And I'm a dude you can't underestimate this type of opponent who's reaching this kind of level. I know he's young into the game, but John Jones has been there a while. He's had all these different hiccups. Not sure if he's the same guy when it comes to seeing how he's not really blowing through guys the way that he used to. And I don't know, I'm worried about this one, but this dude right here can punch. Not saying he'll knock Jones out, but there's a possibility of him hurting Jones. This guy's pretty good on the ground as well. I don't know. I got to see what happens, but I think John Jones may be in some trouble here on Saturday facing this guy. And this is a young rising dude. About the same height, same range and reach as John Jones, and wow. And so I think he's better on his from the stand up point of view. And John Jones is not really known as a heavy puncher, but this guy right here he's dropping folks. He's in matter of fact he's upset a lot of the other rising 205 guys who they thought would be in position for John Jones. This guy right here has knocked them off.
Well, first, let me go over the chats really quick. Teresa D says, salute to D-Style and Reggie. What's going on? Miguel Mandragon says, all I know, John Jones, don't lose. He don't lose. That dude is great. Calvin Ingham says, Jones is a cheater. Man, Clinton Bronson, salute D-Style, Reggie, and chat. I'll be honest, bro. I think a lot of these dudes in UFC are cheating, but that's a different story. Look. Johnson John fight with Thiago Santos was a tough fight. I do agree. And I remember you saying, Reggie, this is going to be a tough fight for John Jones, right?
Yep.
And it was. And some can argue. I think John Jones won, but you could argue the other guy won. You know what I mean? It's arguable. And John Jones was, he was hurt a couple times in that fight. Okay, well, we talked this MMA. Shout out to Coach Harrison out there, by the way. The coach. Make sure you guys subscribe to his channel for more content revolving this card and the female fights and all that. You guys check that out with Coach Shelton Harrison. Make sure you just subscribe to his channel. Look, like I said, right? I'm deferring to Reggie here. I don't know anything about this Reyes guy. You know what I mean? Boxing, I could talk boxing with guys all day. UFC, I mean, I used to follow it a lot more than I do now, right? However, I do know John Jones. Like, I've seen John Jones fight, Rich. I've seen what this dude could do. And I get you, Kelly, he popped dirty for some things. However, steroids can give you those skills. Like, you know what I mean? Like what he does with his elbows, the way he takes dudes down. Shout out to Clifton Bronson, by the way. Like all this stuff, bro. The reality, and he says, Christian W says, all I did was smoke weed. Did he pop dirty for just weed, Reggie?
No, he was popping for performance enhancers.
Okay. I mean,
I don't think Jones smoked weed. He was sniffing coke and
was it coke? Yeah, I think you're talking about Nick Diaz or some shit, bro. Like, what's going on over here? But I know John Jones. I know how great this guy is. And I'll tell you, Rich, of all the guys that get all this praise, right? Conor McGregor beats Cowboy Cerrone, right? And you have Teddy Atlas comparing him to Muhammad Ali and Michael Jordan. And let me tell you something. If there's a UFC fighter you compare to greats in their own respective sports, all right? And I get it that the guy he popped dirty and all that. It's John Jones, bro. Like he's that dude, and he's been that dude since he beat Shogun, dominated him, took that title from him. He never lost. Okay, and he's in a very similar situation like Roy Jones, where his only loss is like questionable, like when he hit a dude when he was down with I forget what was it, a knee or something. Okay, but. Is that what it was?
I think so. It was against that deaf dude. I think not. Did he knee him, or he might have punched him? But you might be right.
But I will say, man, now that you mentioned Reyes, similar height and all that, John Jones is used to having, controlling the distance a lot, and everything. So, is this going to be an upset? Are you just saying it's going to be tough? Or Reggie Owens saying it's going to be an upset in this shit?
Man, I can see an upset in this one, man. I can see an upset.
What specifically? I know you mentioned the boxing, but what else? What else does this guy do that makes you say, man, this is the guy to dethrone John Jones? This guy.
This dude is physically strong. He's strong enough to keep Jones up on him, able to defend those takedowns. And a lot of these taller opponents Jones has faced, you haven't seen the takedowns around, especially guys who are strong enough to keep him up off of him. You haven't seen them going to the ground. A lot of these things are standing up, fighting against the cage, him being able to throw elbows. But he does a great job of neutralizing them. John Jones kicks well. This guy ain't the greatest kicker, but he will kick back. That may open opportunities for Jones to get him down, but I think it's a guy who will get right back to his feet. What else? His wrestling on the ground is pretty good. His punching power is the thing that gets me. And with having the reach to get out there and punch John Jones, and we seen that when Gustafsson was able to touch John Jones. This dude is about as tall, but he has more power to hit Jones, and Jones is puffing up. So we know John is not resistant to punches. So we'll see what happens when he's able to take a punch from a taller guy. We've seen him take shots to the chin, but from these shorter guys, like who Daniel Cormier landed a good punch, but here's a punch being thrown by a taller guy. So I want Jones to win, but I can still smell an upset, man. But it takes nothing away from his accomplishments. Watch Anderson Silva fall.
Speaking of John, John in the chat says it was a 12-6 elbow. That was against Matt Hamill. That's when he got disqualified. All right, shout out to Afro Rican G in the chat. What's going on, bro? Kevin Bronson says UFC viewership has been on the decline or stagnant. YouTubers making money more than 40% of the fighters, MMA fighters, and boxers clout chasing each other. UFC needs a jolt to get the eyes on UFC. Well, what do you think about that, man? You know, viewership going down for UFC and all that. You see signs of that?
Yeah, it's been signs of that. Yeah, the UFC is in a real downspin, and that's the reason why they keep Conor McGregor around. He's the only thing to keep them relevant to where fans turn out for it. Because even when the UFC puts on events on the same day as boxing, their events get overshadowed. Like people forget they even had an event going on.
That's interesting, man. And that's interesting as well. Tone Brown, you know, that they were just gonna take away a point, and they decided, you know, that it's a wrap. Matt Hamill, by the way, I believe that's the guy that couldn't hear.
Yeah, that's him. It was that deaf guy.
Yeah, absolutely. You have any final thoughts, man, on this UFC event?
No, that's it, man. Hopefully Jones can keep his titles, but man, like I say, I got a feeling, man. It may be a change of guard.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Let's go ahead and talk about the upcoming fight, man, in boxing. Gary Russell Jr., and you guys will forgive me for butchering this, but Tugaseo Nyambayar. Is it Nyambayar or whatever, okay? The Mongolian fighter fighting out of California. This is going to be interesting. This is the featherweight WBC championship fight. Both guys are enrolled in Nevada. Let's look at the dimensions here, okay? Look at the dimensions. Gary Russell's 5'4". I thought it was like 5'6". Dude's 5'4". Let's say 5'5". The Mongolian fighter, 5'8". Gary Russell's reach, 64 inches. The Mongolian fighter, 66 inches. Right? So he's got him in 4 inches in height, 2 inches in reach. Right? Gary Russell's 31-0. His only loss is to Vasily Lomachenko. He has 18 wins by way of knockout. It's a 50% KO ratio. The Mongolian fighter, 11 wins, 9 wins by way of knockout, 81% KO ratio. I don't know if this will make a difference, but Gary Russell is a southpaw. His opponent, orthodox, Rich. Right? So what we need to look for here is Nyambayar. The key to the southpaw is the right hand. Dude's got a pretty decent right hand. Okay? He also has a pretty decent jab. He looks schooled. You know what I mean? He's always has the proper technique. Hands are up when they're supposed to be up. You know, he has a basic stance, but he's good with it and consistent with it. Right? However, I just think he's going to be that one step behind Gary Russell Jr. As long as Gary Russell takes away this dude's right hand, it's a wrap, right? That's what I think, Reggie, right? As long as he takes away the right hand, I think it's a wrap. But what do you think, Reggie? How do you see this fight, given everything I mentioned? Southpaw versus Orthodox, the Orthodox fighter being taller. What do you think?
I think this dude is ready for it, man. This dude, his last opponent was a southpaw, and a tough southpaw known for knocking people out, and he stayed in there. This guy, yeah. This dude moves well. He ain't one of them stiffs. How people think. These cats are learning how to fight. These international cats are learning how to fight. They're trying to fight. They're staying active. They ain't doing all this playing around shit. And the thing with Gary is he's too damn idle for me. I ain't the biggest Gary Russell fan. And Gary Russell's, I think his last fight was Jojo Diaz, if I'm correct or not. I thought that was a tough ass fight. And I think it could have, the way I was viewing it, I thought it could have been a draw, and it could even went both ways. All the thing about about Gary Russell hand speed and having all the speed and all that stuff, it started to diminish. Yeah, it started to fade away later in the fight. And this guy he's facing is going to take his shot. So I didn't see a plan B coming from Gary Russell. I didn't see anything else that he pulled out the tool bag. Him being as inactive as he is, he's going to face some problems against this dude. This is going to be a hungry-ass dude. And these dudes from these other nations ain't coming in here to play. And this is the problem with fighters from our country who look past people all the time. They're trying to go and get this and that fight, or they don't fight nobody. And I think these things are coming to hunt a lot of people, man. And not saying this dude to knock Gary off, but I wouldn't be surprised if this dude defeats Gary Russell. But I'm not the biggest fans of Gary Russell, and I know he gets a lot of support from the brothers, but I ain't never been a Gary Russell fan like that. And that last performance, I wasn't too pleased by it, because I seen Gary just fading away in that one. And this cat right here, I didn't even know the physical disadvantages that Gary has going in this fight. And this dude can play into it. This dude has great cardio. He controls range pretty good. He moves well. He will make adjustments. And if he lets this go down further down the line, stand up. As a matter of fact, he can punch in between Gary trying to get off these fast shots, scoring type shots, and catch him with something. But man, it's going to be hard. And I don't see much coming from Gary Russell, but I see him calling out everybody else's name, but instead of speaking on his opponent. And hopefully he's not overlooking this guy. Or it's going to backfire on his ass.
Well, I saw an interview where he's saying, hey, the guy's well-schooled, he's got skills and all that. So he acknowledges, at least openly, on a Showtime interview, which you guys can check on the Showtime channel, that this guy has skills. They also, is it King Tut? Is that what they call him? Right? They interviewed his opponent. He said, hey, let me tell you something, man. I'm bound down to nobody, basically, he said. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting. But my question is this, right? Well, I haven't seen I think Gary Russell still has his speed. I think the speed is still there. I don't think I've seen a decline in the speed. Do you mean it diminishes throughout a fight, the course of a fight?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay. Well, I mean, of course, I could definitely see that, but here's this guy only has 11 pro fights, bro. You really think this is the guy with 11 pro fights to take Gary Russell Jr. to deep waters?
You seen what happened to Danny Roman? These international guys are doing something else. You see what's happened to that 175?
Gary Russell at this point, man, he's basically a seasoned vet, bro. 31 professional fights. He has triple the amount of fight experience, has gone a distance multiple times, has fought different types of fighters, especially in those lower weight classes where you fight many types of styles. I got to tell you, I think he's going to be that one step behind Gary Russell. You know what I mean? I think he's a little too slow for Gary. I mean, I might be wrong, man, but how is he going to overcome the speed disadvantage? Mainly with the hand speed. The hand speed is where it really stands out to me. I think Gary Russell's going to see everything this guy's throwing at him, but I don't think the other guy's going to see what Gary's throwing at him in return.
He can stay out range, use his legs, move around, keep the jab going. You say, what is jab? 4 inches longer or 2 inches? But just having that height, he can take a step and
have that, yes.
Yeah, he can cover more ground than Gary, so Gary would have to close the distance in which he can step out of it.
Plus, in that Moreno fight, I mean, that was a pretty close fight. You know what I mean? And he was getting hit himself a lot in that fight. And the more I watch this, man, I got Gary Russell winning this one, Reggie. I believe he's going to win this by decision. I think it's going to be a rout. I think he wins 10 out of 12 rounds in this fight. Gary Russell does.
Yeah, I mean, I give you that. I just ain't big on Gary Russell, man. I mean, how can I be big on him? I haven't seen him fight much. And Callie was saying, I didn't even know he fought. I forgot he fought on Wilder Ortiz card. I forgot about that, but I think the opponent was an opponent that shouldn't have been in there with him. But yeah, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, African G says 8-4 round, 9th round in favor of Gary Russell. It's going to be a little bit of a chess match. I don't think it's going to be the action-packed fight people are looking for. The Mongolian fighter might have success early, but I don't know, man. I'm going to roll with Gary Russell. What's your official prediction? Like, I know you keep saying you're not big on Gary, but aside from that, well, what is Reggie Owens' official prediction here?
Ooh, I'm gonna say a split decision, and they probably give it to Gary. I think it's gonna be competitive, man. It's gonna be a real competitive fight.
And where does Gary go from here? I mean, he gets this win. Where does he go from here? I mean, Santa Cruz doesn't want to fight him. I mean, what should he do? Should he move up? You think Gary Russell should move up and wait?
But see, because where's he fighting at 128 or something?
126.
126, and that's the thing that bugged me. He's calling out guys at 130 and all this stuff. Move your ass up and campaign there. So it's like, what's the point of you calling these guys out? It's like, this is why I can't follow Gary Russell. Move up there, man. If you calling these guys out, you calling out the Tank Davises. Like, this is why they're ignoring them. Like, you at 126 doing these things. I don't know. I just don't get it. And then not taking the fights and stuff like this, the back and forth on who's to blame, Al Heyman and this and that. But I don't know. I don't understand the career of him, man. Same thing with the Bubu Andrade type careers. I don't know, man. But I want to see him, but I don't think he's going to get that Leo Santa Cruz fight neither, because now you're already hearing Jojo Diaz calling him out, and there's a lot that can be built out of that fight. And he's at the proper weight where Leo's at.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with them. And African G says, but why would he move up if they're not going to give him a chance? But I think you'll have a better chance if you move up and you become a number one contender, or let's say a mandatory, better yet, and you get a title. You can it could be done. You know what I mean? So people saying Leo was scared of him. Warrington called him out. He called out Gary Russell. That's a good fight, if true. He needs to move up. Guys at 126 don't want to fight you, so go up to 130 and get bigger fights. Salute says, Mr. Male Advice DIY. What's going on, bro? What's going on? You guys tune into Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens. February 6th edition. And make sure you throw a jab at the like button. We have first person come on here. We have Kelly Enigma. What's going on, Kelly?
What's happening, man? Let me talk about the whole situation. Gary Russell Jr. only fights one time a year for one reason. First, he has brittle hands, and he feels like he wants to fight the best competition. If he can't fight the best competition, then he'll fight as mandatory. But he never leaves the gym. He stays in the gym all year round. So that's why you only usually see him one time a year, because he's like, well, I don't want to waste my hands on weak-ass fights. So he's like, man, if I can't get the best opposition, he just said today he's going to stop chasing Leo Santa Cruz. They're like, Leo Santa Cruz don't want to fight me. But let's keep it 100. Leo Santa Cruz, Carl Frampton, and pretty much all the rest of these dudes at 126 all dug Gary Russell Jr. That's a fact. Whether you like some of the Gary Russell Jr. tactics or not, I complain about him fighting once a year. But, I mean, if he's just fighting weak dudes, and they was just – the people who don't like him would say all he does is fight weak dudes. So at the end of the day, he tried to fight the best in his division. So he can't win no matter what. Now, he is saying he wants to go up. He's preparing to go up. But he knows he's not going to get these fights. Leo Santa Cruz not going to fight him, bro. Y'all done seen this dude been trying to fight Leo Santa Cruz for years. He didn't want no smoke, bro. He didn't. This is the fact. Now, you notice that Carl Frampton didn't want no smoke. Josh Warrington don't want no smoke, man. I mean, what can you do?
Hearing that Warrington called him out. What's that?
Warrington called him out, and then he called him out back, and then Warrington didn't respond. But in the past, he said, Josh Warrington said, I want to fight Leo Santa Cruz. I want to fight Abner Mares. And then he also said he wanted to fight Oscar Valdez. in the past. But then he said, "What about the WC?" Oh yeah, we'll see. And that was his response. So he ain't trying to fight Gary Russell Jr. I don't believe none of these dudes. They all just like he got the Rigondeaux treatment, man. Gary Russell Jr. got the Gilmore Rigondeaux treatment, man. And that's a fact. So I mean, I just look at it, and then the whole situation with JoJo Diaz was starting to tear him up, but then he faded. He gassed out, and once he gassed out, that fight was one-sided. Now I thought if he would have maintained his gas, I thought JoJo Diaz would have won. But you're trying to compare this dude to JoJo Diaz, who has a great amateur pedigree, former U.S. Olympian. I mean, it's fought much different competition, and that's why I don't know why. To Tevin Farmer fight is only upset by people who ain't paying attention to Tevin Farmer's career. Because ain't no way in the world Tevin Farmer was beating JoJo Diaz. I've been saying that for 2 years, so that's a whole nother subject, though, man. But yeah, man, Gary Russell Jr., man, been fucked over, man. And that's just how the sport goes, man. The guy who gets ducked gets blamed, gets shitted on, and it's like, whoa, you should do this, you should do that. So he got to move up because none of the dudes in the division. So he going to move up to try to chase the same dudes that ducked him? Really? Come on, man. He's not going to get them fights. That's just the way it is. Floyd Mayweather don't want to really put Gervonta Davis in there with nobody, with no other slick black fighters. He don't. We know this. So, man, let's not try to act like that it's just that easy to get. Because obviously these guys don't think they can win. They're avoiding them for a reason, man. They're avoiding them for a reason. I mean, I would have loved to have seen some of these fights. But, man, I just think that, Reggie, I think you being cold on the dude, man. Whether you like his style or not, you ain't got to like his style. But, man, the facts are the facts. The dude been ducked, man. That's a reality. It sucks, but it's true. I mean, it sucks, but it's true. He been ducked.
But
Should he fight more? Yes, but who he going to fight against?
Go ahead, Richie.
You blaze a trail. You create your path. You blaze your trail. You create your path. You got to do more than fighting this one time a year thing.
Okay, so if none of the top dogs will fight him, then who should we? So we just fight a bunch of bums? That's gonna help him blaze this trail, blaze his path. You blaze your trail. This fighting one time a year ain't doing a damn thing for him. He should take the Tevin Farmer route.
That's the most damaging thing he has done to his career.
So take the Tevin Farmer route and fight a bunch of bums.
I mean, Charlo's having to do the same thing. But he's blazing the trail.
Yeah, Charlo getting ready to get Sergey Derevchenko, so he's getting ready to actually get a good fighter to fight.
There's a little bit of an echo, so let's just go one at a time here. But go ahead, Reggie.
Now I was saying Charlo's blazing his trail. He's doing this thing. He's not. Both of the Charlo brothers are having to do this to where certain champions are avoiding him. But there's other people out there in these weight classes. Gary Russell at 126, everybody's at 130. He needs to go up to 130 if he's big enough to make that weight, rather than calling the guys who ain't around you trying to get those fights. I hope he doesn't think they're going to cut down to go down where he's at. They're looking beyond him. It's time for Gary to catch up. And the way to catch up is to kick ass more than once a year. Like, you have to put food on your plate and march through that shit. And he's not doing that one time a year thing. Like, he's it's almost the same thing we seen out of Boo Boo Andrade. It ain't that Boo Boo Andrade ain't getting the fights. It's the level opposition. People ain't really seeing him, and it's killing off his career. Gary Russell's almost like a DAZN fighter without being on DAZN. He's on the perfect platform to get himself seen and known, and people just ain't seeing him. You go do your bum of the month club, whatever they call it. I ain't using that word, but he should have did a bum of the month club type thing and built his name up off his Showtime.
So before you answer, Kelly, I just want to go over comments real quick. Eurizon Failure Reyes beat weapons straight left. Most devastating is his head kick. All right, so he's talking about John Jones fight. Big dog Willie on here. Shakur Stevenson wants to smoke. Haven't heard about that, but that's interesting. He went after Leo's dad, and still Leo didn't want to fight him. That is crazy, and that is true. Tone Brown says that's true, of course. African G, I agree with Kelly. John Jones, or not John Jones, but Jones says about Warrington, this was in October. I'm looking for fights. It makes sense. Speaking on fighting Gary Russell Jr., that's interesting. Haplotype says Russell's a talented fighter who made little of his career, period. All right. And just sitting around and waiting, not going to help him either. He's getting older. To Reggie's point, of course. Miguel Maldron says, I agree. Fighting once a year isn't good. And Haplotype, Russell could have had a better career if he was more active. Bums or no bums. So in regards to that, Kelly, what do you say, man?
I call bullshit. That dude's a champion, man. What, you don't want to unify with the champion? So I call nonsense. This shit is making an excuse for the other champions ducking them. The ones who can catch hell are the other champions ducking them. I don't give a fuck if he ain't got no name recognition. You're supposed to. I thought the goal was to be undisputed in boxing, but I guess not if it's a guy that you don't think you can beat. So you make excuses like, oh, he ain't got no name recognition. He has a belt. He has a belt. So you should fight him because he has a fucking belt. If he was beatable, they would have fought him. It wouldn't matter if he was fighting one time a year. If they thought they can beat him, they'd fight him. And it's just that simple. So all the other shit is just bullshit and noise. We all know this. If they thought that they could beat their you can actually afford to get him in the ring and you would fight him if you thought you could beat him. But they know what time it is. That's why they don't want no smoke. If they fail, Josh wants to know, Leo Santa Cruz know, and Oscar Valdez sometimes he was talking about it and other times he didn't. But he let his belt go. He ducked the Shakira Stevenson. I mean, god damn, come on, man. I'm sick of shit like that, man. Look, man, we don't know if Shakira Stevenson would have beat Oscar Valdez, but it would have been a nice little step-up fight for Shakira Stevenson to try to step up to somebody like Oscar Valdez. But he moved up instead. He like, nah, just give my belt away. You can have it.
African
no opportunity to prove himself. Same shit happened with him.
Well, African G says, to your point, Kelly, let's say he moves to 30 and still nobody gets in there with him, then what's next, right? But I could see both sides, man, because like Mr. Mel Advice DIY says, right, I agree. He needs to get up and go out there and fight and stop fighting once a year. So is there anything, Kelly, that you could say, that, I mean, I understand your point is, hey, he's doing all he can. But if you, I mean, do you believe he's done everything he can? Like, has he exhausted every option, Gary Russell?
Well, you see what he did to Leo Santa Cruz. That's exhausting every option. God damn it. I mean, damn, you go to try to embarrass, you try to embarrass the man like, bro, he basically took Leo Santa Cruz balls. And Leo Santa Cruz said, I'm still not going to fight you. God damn, I mean, the dude sat there and went up there to his father and said that shit, trying to fight. I see fans like,
cut off.
You starting to break up, Kelly?
They're breaking up.
Hold on,
what happened? We cannot hear Kelly.
What happened? Okay, there we go. No, I said he just disrespected you and your dad, so it doesn't make any sense.
Right. I mean, as far as Leo Santa Cruz, no doubt he has. You know what I mean? But we'll see where that goes, man. I want to switch gears a little bit, do an early preview right now. If anybody wants to click on the link, the link is right there. But Reggie,
no, it's in the
Kelly. No, it's in Leo's background playing.
I don't know what happened here, but I think there was some feedback there. Reggie, Wilder, Fury, right now, as you stand right now, February 6th. How do you see that?
I see it ended in the stoppage, man. And I went back to review that first fight. Went back to review a lot of Tyson Fury's other fights because of this talk of knocking Wilder out. I just see Wilder stopping this dude. You're seeing critical last minute changes being made in the camp of Tyson Fury. I just don't think Tyson Fury knows how to sit on a punch, he may not have the power to develop a one punch knockout type power. And he's fighting smaller heavyweights who are able to take his shots. I've seen him lay down on punches and throw them at opponents to knock them out. The knockout against Cunningham, which is probably his most spectacular looking knockout, but it came against a guy who was really a cruiserweight, moving up the fight at heavyweight, taking his best shots. But when Fury knocked him out, the guy was faded. And the way he faded was Fury laying on him, Fury being as big as hell as he is, wearing the guy down, laying on him. But against Wilder, the other thing when it comes to the size of a person and the strength of a person, those are two different components. And with Tyson Fury being heavier, that doesn't mean that he's stronger than Deontay Wilder. They're virtually the same height. The only thing that separates them, I think Tyson may have a longer head than him, but from the shoulders, I think they're about the same. The reach isn't too much off target because when they jab, their jabs seem to be about in the same range. And Tyson Fury just wasn't active enough. He even opened up to stating that he was afraid to let go. But now he's going to come into this one trying to let go. A more active Tyson Fury is a Tyson Fury that makes a lot of mistakes that's critical in this fight because they weren't mistakes in his other fights where he leaves his hands down a lot. Now, getting in close to getting in range and being more active on volume and leaving those hands down, that's a problem with Tyson Fury, along with what Ben Davis revealed is his other habit, and that's the nose thing, the nose tap and reset. That can be something that Wilder plays in on. But I got Wilder dropping this dude if he engages with him. Otherwise, if Fury maintains distance moving around, he may be able to last late in the fight, but I still think he's going to get knocked out.
All right. How do you see it, Kelly? Early previews.
Oh yeah, I'm good. I think Deontay Wilder going to get Fury out there anyway. Wilder's going to use a stabbing jab. He's going to plans to work the body with hooks, and he's going to he's going to work the body early and more often than he did in the first fight. He abandoned the body in the first fight, and he won't make that mistake again. I think Deontay Wilder stops. I think Deontay Wilder stops Tyson Fury within 8 rounds. I do. I think he stops him within 8 rounds. I think it's going to be brutal knockout as well. I think, and it's long overdue. It's long overdue. So I can't wait to see it. But that's what I see. I see Tyson Fury getting stretched brutally. And I mean,
you think the first thing to happen? Like I still have a feeling like something's going to happen.
Tyson Fury try to back out of it. Well, Tyson Fury wastes. You know what I told people? I told everybody this last year. I think I told everybody going back to around right after the Tyson Fury fight. Tyson Fury was talking about how he plans to come in big. I heard Tyson Fury wanted to come in around 285 pounds. He's 275. He's 10 pounds away from the weight that he wants to come in to fight Deontay Wilder. So maybe he could claim some type of injury or something like that. I don't know. He can always pull out. But I think at this point, I think the fight's going to go through, man. If he pull out, it's going to look really bad. Really, really bad. He has to go through it, stick through. Come and fight Deontay Wilder.
I mean, the dude is limping. I don't know, man. He looks a little too heavy. Like, I'm just saying, man, I just think people thought the Klitschko rematch was going to happen, and it didn't. You know what I mean? So no matter how you see it, I think there's a possibility the fight doesn't even happen. However, if it does happen, right?
Well, it is. You're right. I mean, he, like I said, right now he weighs 275 pounds, which is extremely heavy. One of the problems with him being heavy like that, he's not going to be as fast as he was in the first fight when he only. We came in at 250, so he's probably gonna the night of the fight. He may weigh close. He may weigh 290 pounds, to be honest with you, man. Which is, I think, is going to be a disadvantage for him. Will cause him to gas out faster. That's just what I think. I think it's going to cause him to gas out fast. I think it's a major mistake for him to want to sit there and I think it's a mistake for him to want to sit there and put add on all that weight. I think he should have stayed. I think he should came in lighter. Actually, he's looking to increase his punch resistance, man, and that's what it all comes down. He also hoping that the extra weight will allow him to hit a little bit harder, but it's just like you're gonna be slower, man. It's gonna be easier for Wilder to time you. And one of the mistakes, critical mistakes that Tyson Fury makes when in the fights, he tends to dip his head to the right on a regular basis, man, and that's what got him caught in the 12th round with that right hand, and of course that cleanup left foot. You can't keep doing that. Wilder knows that's a fatal flaw. He's done it in every single fight that he's ever been in. So he's not going to change. That's a natural habit for him. Also, the dropping his hand, that's part of who he is. But yeah, Tyson Fury has good reflexes when he's focused, but you got to be focused. You're talking about a man that has to be focused for 36 minutes, man. That's not going to happen. There's going to be lapses. Only one I've seen be focused for 36 minutes is basically, and every fight has been Floyd Mayweather Jr., man. Tyson Fury he makes mistakes in all of his fights, and it's going to be critical one. He's going to get him stretched, man. He's going to get stretched, man. He's going to gas out early because when Wilder was working his body, man, Fury was starting to slow down. Fury was there to be hit. It's one of the reasons why Fury got dropped the first time. I'm telling you this right now. Fury will get stretched because Wilder is going to work his body. He's going to call him to gas out, and that's what's going to be his undoing. And Wilder going to stretch him, man. Wilder going to step back. He's going to be patient. He's going to knock him out. And I just don't see how it's going to work out. Also, Tyson Fury, man, is drinking again. And I don't know, most people don't know that Tyson Fury is back to drinking. That's what he's doing. Wow. He's back to drinking again. And I don't know if you guys seen him. He even admitted he was going to go drink. It was after his fight with Otto Wallin. He admitted that he was going to drink. So all this stuff, to me, is going to be his downfall. Drinking. Remember, I don't know if you guys remember, I posted a video of him on my Instagram last year when he was coming. He went to a rave. So he went to a rave last summer and stuff like that, man. Tyson Fury wouldn't be surprising me at all if he's back to, snorting the white girl. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he's fucking with that shit, man. Nothing surprising me about Tyson Fury. I think Tyson Fury's his demons he's his own worst enemy in a multitude of ways. Also think that Deontay Wilder took some out of him. He doesn't seem to have the same confidence that he had going into the first fight as well. You could definitely tell that. Look at all the changes he's made, everything he's doing, because he knows he understands what he's dealing with Deontay Wilder, man. He's gonna try his best, but in reality, I think he knows he's getting knocked out. It's destiny, man. He knows what it is. But as far, remember we was talking about the heavyweight division. Look, man, Anthony Joshua said he wants 70-30 split against Deontay Wilder. And Eddie Hearn was saying 50-50, which I still don't believe he was trying to make the fight either. But Anthony Joshua telling you 70-30 split is telling you he don't want to fight Deontay Wilder. And on top of that, too, Anthony Joshua has been allowed to keep both of his belts now because Anthony Joshua is going to fight Kubrat Pulev and Alexander Usyk, and then he's done for the year. So there's no Deontay Wilder, no chance for that fight, no chance whatsoever. And PBC told Top Rank to build Terrence Crawford to try to market him some more because as of right now, it's not a big – the Earl Spence – basically ESPN and Fox don't think that fight is big enough right now to make it a huge pay-per-view fight the way Wilder and Fury is. So I'm saying right now, no Crawford Spence in 2020. It's been pushed off because Terrence Crawford – he's going to have to fight some bigger opposition. He should have fought Sean Porter. I know it's a risk, but if you beat him, man, it gives you clout, man. It gives you major fucking clout. And so he's going to have to fight some better opposition if that fight is going to be big enough for both Fox and ESPN to want to make that fight. They think it's a big pay-per-view fight, but they need Terrence Crawford to do a little bit more to build his name up. And that's just the way they see it right now. The reason ESPN and Fox were so ready to make the Wilder Fury fight is both guys are huge right now. So it's a different situation. I know that's fucked up to me. I don't give a fuck. Me personally, I think that fight should happen now. I don't give a fuck. I'm ready to see it happen. Well, if Earl Spence is going to fight Manny Pacquiao first, then I'm okay with that. As long as he's trying to collect all the belts. After that, I want him to fight Terrence Crawford because hell, it's the last piece of the puzzle. But unfortunately, the networks do have a say-so in this because they're the ones putting the guys on TV and they're putting a lot of money behind this. So they know it's a lot of money potentially in that fight, but they want Terrence Crawford to build his name. So unfortunately, like I said, the sport of boxing, it disappoints you, but this is just how it is. And I hate this. I hate the business side. But I mean, as when I got into the sport of boxing, when I was really not getting the story, what to say. Once I got into the sport of boxing, as far as some of the inside shit, man, I hated the shit. But I ain't gonna lie, I liked it better when I didn't know that inside shit. I liked it a lot more when I didn't know some of the inside shit. I hate this shit, man. The more you learn about some of the shit on the inside, the more you hate it. So it's like I just feel disgusted by it. Every time I get new information, I just want to throw it. So I'm just telling you, you don't want to know about a lot of this shit, man. It's a lot of shit is disgusting, but unfortunately, this is a sport that this is what the sport is about right now. It's about the business, and that's why we got the same shit going on with Devin Haney. Devin Haney's in a situation where you got fans saying that, well, Devin Haney, he needs to fight somebody. What Devin Haney tried to fight Lomachenko, he was the mandatory for Lomachenko. Lomachenko decided to give the belt up so he could become the franchise champion to avoid Devin Haney. And then he stole Luke Campbell from him because Lomachenko didn't believe he could beat Devin Haney. This is the kind of fuck shit that we got in the sport of boxing. And I also blame Eddie Hearn because Eddie Hearn is the promoter of Devin Haney, and Eddie Hearn should have said no. This fight's going to be between Luke Campbell and Devin Haney, and then you could fight the winner of that fight. And I guarantee you Lomachenko would have went away. But Eddie Hearn instead, because he was so thirsty to get Lomachenko in the UK against Luke Campbell to try to be a part of a major event, and that event flopped in the UK. It didn't even sell that many fucking tickets. It didn't even do that well on pay-per-view. So this is the kind of Eddie Hearn fucked his own fighter in this situation. And now Teofimo Lopez is saying, well, Devin Haney needs to get his name up, and then we'll fight 5 years down the line. 5 years down the line.
I hear you, bro. Well said. A lot of trauma.
You got the background, Kelly.
I want to thank you for coming in, Kelly.
Oh, it's nothing, man. I appreciate that, man. Hey, like I said, Reggie, I don't know if you saw, man. I had shot you my email, man, in one of your last video, man. My email, man. I want to chop it up with you, fam.
All right, for sure.
All right, man.
All right, thanks to Kelly Enigma for dropping by, giving us time. Make sure you subscribe to Kelly Enigma. Reggie, what are your thoughts on, on some of what Kelly said in regards to, the Joshua side, Eddie Hearn asking for a little too much right there, 70-30.
Man, I think they're gonna play themselves up out of here, man. Joshua is no longer the star he used to be. He doesn't command anything. He's not going to command the audience. I'm already seeing the venue set for this Pulev versus I'm looking for Joshua versus Pulev. The venue that I heard announced ain't this big venue that he's been speaking about. I should have researched this place, but it's a place never mentioned by Eddie Hearn. So it's showing that Joshua's not that draw. A lot of people, what they call consumer confidence, the fans' confidence ain't there with Anthony Joshua right now. Right. He's having to build himself back up. Even capturing these titles really didn't mean nothing to these fans, especially in the way in which he went in there and fought. A lot of people drew a side eye to it. A lot of people were critical of the way he fought, stating he fought a very cowardly fight rather than engaging with this guy. So AJ matter of fact, the mystique that was behind AJ was broken with the way he was defeated. It wasn't like he lost by some controversy, one lucky punch. He was hit 4 times that dropped him, and people watched him virtually quit in that fight, virtually come in here and play a safe thing. So the fans aren't behind AJ like that. So Wilder's on this rise. The attraction to the heavyweight side of boxing is through Wilder. Even when AJ was on his climb, the attachments to him was always behind Deontay Wilder. Now things have shifted away from AJ. So they can believe that delusion if they want, but guess what? They need Deontay Wilder. They need Deontay Wilder for this money. Otherwise, they're gonna keep running to Saudi Arabia, but pretty soon them Saudis gonna wake up and say, we don't want just AJ over here. We want that other guy. So but yeah, that's Eddie's delusional, man. He's playing himself, and AJ's playing himself, trying to prolong this time because he's trying to work on things, but nah, 70-30, they foolish as hell.
But there's fans that are gonna justify it, bro. There's fans that are gonna justify it. They're gonna say, "Oh, we're the crazy ones. We're the ones that don't understand. It's Wilder's fault that he's ducking." And they're out there. Yeah. Shout out to Chief Funky 84. Shout out and thank you very much, Nelson Santos, for the donation. It's a salute to the Dragon and Sir Owens III. All right, Big Dog Willie, I agree with you that is bullshit. That's for sure. AJ's a waste of time, says Mr. Mail Advice DIY. I agree. And shout out to Chicano Prophet. Says, yeah, Tyson Fury is a total wild card. It's going to be interesting, bro. That fight, I mean, like when there's a fight and you feel like the chills and it's going to ring, the bell is. And I am telling you, bro, this is what the right hand of Wilder, just to explain to you guys what the right hand of Wilder can do. Okay. Reggie, did you play Mortal Kombat?
Oh, of course. Hell yeah.
Street Fighter, remember, the chat, you guys remember those games?
Hell yeah.
Remember they had like the power bar on the very top? Like it would have it on the top, like when it would hit you.
When you losing it. Yeah.
Your health bar. You know what I mean? But what do you, Mortal Kombat? All right? Or Street Fighter? You guys tell me. And by the way, shout out to Kelly and Enigma for taking his time to come on. By the way, on Boxing Conversation, we will send a link, guys, and you guys can join, give us your thoughts. So always be ready for Thursdays. You want to come on and give your thoughts. All right? Now, like, here's the thing. Wilder's that dude. Like, imagine if there was a player on Mortal Kombat. Imagine they had one of those fighters, and when he hits you with a right hand, that health bar, it's over. Okay, can you imagine? Like that's the power of Wilder's right hand. Bam, done. Okay, I am telling you that is the power of Wilder's right hand. Not the only thing he has. Okay, he's hurt guys with his left hand, with a hook. Okay, he does other things. He's, it takes away, from your health bar as well as you're fighting, but he has that power in a split second. Bam! To end it. You know what I mean? I don't know about you, Reggie. I would always, if that was the case, I would pick that player or that fighter on Mortal Kombat all the time. You know what I mean? Like if Scorpions come over here was the end, I'd pick him every time. Get over here.
Yeah, that dude's right hand is some bad man.
Get over here. Bam! Right hand. You're done. Okay? Elijah says that thing holding more belts and drawing more should be an A side. 60-40. It'd be fair. Wilder should take it. And if it wins, becomes a side of holding the belts and get 70-30 in the rematch, we will see. Okay, they're not coming from a place where it's making any sense, to be honest with you. Big Dog Willie, I'm going to come next Thursday for sure. D Styles, I'm at work right now. We look forward to that. Big Dog Willie for sure. Logic, AJ gets 60-40 in the rematch. If Wilder wins, he gets 70-30. Interesting. Wilder scares Joshua. He's scared. And Afro-Rican G supporting the channel. I'm going to go back work, guys. Have a great night, family. Absolutely. Shout out to Afro-Rican G. I mean, this is what we're in right now. I mean, obviously, they got to get serious about the negotiations because, first of all, we got to see what, and I agree, No Paul said earlier, Fury can uppercut himself, probably. All right. If you guys don't believe it, Google or YouTube, on a YouTube search, put Tyson Fury uppercuts himself. It happened. Okay. I'm just telling you. Reggie, do you think there's something more to the fact that Fury never gave Klitschko the rematch?
Yeah, I think it is, and I think it's he knew he was going to be suspended behind from what I follow from watching other brothers' stories. Like I stated, I didn't get into the intricate details of the sport until finding a lot of you guys on here and hearing these details about him failing this drug test. So maybe him knowing that he had this stuff in his system and the possibility of him failing. And really in this fight, I think the rematch, the reason why I stayed away is because in this rematch, Klitschko would have fought a more aggressive fight against him and possibly would have hurt him, because he really didn't do nothing to Klitschko except he fought a CompuBox type fight. He landed more punches while Klitschko stayed there trying to guess and figure his tallest opponent out. But in that rematch, Klitschko would have went right after him and got him up out of there. And it's crazy, Tyson didn't hurt this dude who's known for having quite a suspect chin. So he knew not to take that rematch.
And I agree, man. Water, it is an old video, but it's so funny. Okay. But the uppercut. I believe that Fury knew he fought his best fight and Klitschko didn't. I think he knew that, you know. And I think he knew anything Klitschko figured out, it was too late. The fight was over. You know what I mean? And I think in this fight, he's got to know that whatever tricks worked, there's only so many times a magician can do the tricks in front of you before you figure it out, you know. And there's a reason Wilder knocked him down not once but twice, and in the 12th. And that's he started to figure the guy out, you know. So he knows Fury now. He knows a lot of the tricks now. You know what I mean? All Fury knows is that Wilder's right hand is a monster right hand. That's all he knows. You know what I mean? So I favor Wilder in this fight. I think Wilder wins. I think he wins by, to be honest with you, bro, I wouldn't be shocked if he knocks him out early, like second, third round.
Man, I hope he does. I hope like hell he does. Get him up out of there.
Yeah. Nelson Santos with Reggie Owenson. Where do people get the idea that AJ is more known globally than Deontay Wilder? I keep hearing that, but I don't believe that's actually true. So is he more known in England? Yes. But he's not more known here in the States, right? So let's start with England and the States, right? I mean, he fights on the zone now. He's in a fight for fight basis. Doesn't mean he can't fight outside of the zone, AJ. But let me ask you this, Reggie. What is a bigger country, the U.S. or the U.K.?
Shit, we got states bigger than the U.K.
Right. I mean, well, what are they? The size of Iowa? Shout out to corrupt as Iowa, by the way. All right. God damn, they're corrupt, bro. And I want to end the boxing talk, so we go to some political talk really quick. So it's bigger, you know, and here's the misconception. I always see this is what I always hear. Right? I always hear this, bro. No, they don't know who AJ is. They don't know Joshua in Mexico. Okay. I don't even think they air Joshua fights in Mexico. I'm gonna find out if they air his fights. Here's my thing. Let's just go over this. A lot of people in the UK don't understand, Reggie, right? They don't understand that Showtime is a premium network. You have to pay like $15 a month for Showtime. That is almost what a UK pay-per-view costs. Okay? So when you guys are impressed by, 500,000 pay-per-views, 800,000 pay-per-views. Well, 1 million views for Wilder on Showtime is impressive. Those aren't free. You have to pay for Showtime. That aside. How much are pay-per-views in the U.S.? Like $74.99, something like that?
Yup, right there. And is this one going up to 100?
I don't know, but here's my thing. UK pay-per-views in American dollars are $19.99. All right? So I don't know if you guys can do math, but let's do math. Right? Oh, he only sold 300,000. Let me tell you something, man. 74.99 divided by 3, Reggie, okay, is 24.99. So even though it's more than 19.99, let's just go with that. 300,000 times 3 is 900,000. Okay? But you can't do that. Yeah, I can. I'm talking about revenue. Okay, the $25 logic, even fucking better. How about that? Even better. One pay-per-view in the U.S. is worth the same amount of moolah as 3 pay-per-views in the fucking UK. Right? Those are just the facts. That's just the truth. And that's if the 25, I believe, I've heard 1999, but whatever. Okay? I'm talking US dollars. You know what I mean? So, like revenue-wise, a Joshua fight has to do 900,000 buys to equal what Wilder did in the U.S. No, but that's Fury. Fury sold the pay-per-views, did he? Fury couldn't even sell out an arena in Las Vegas. And you think the dude is you think he's the one selling? Oh, but it only did 7 million in the gate. That's it? 7 million in the gate? Like you guys are talking like every fighter is doing 7 million in the gate. Like everybody's just doing it. We don't have the numbers of those fights in stadiums. We don't have the numbers, guys. Do you have the numbers, Reggie?
No, not at all. I don't even know do they release them?
No, they don't have to release shit. Right? That's just the reality. Right? Dude's paying $10 for fucking nosebleed seats to sing Sweet Caroline and shit. Okay, Lele, I'm supposed to be impressed by that. Right? You can't even watch the fight. What do you do? Take the binoculars? Do you watch it on the screen? You can just stay at home. Right? I'm just saying. But that's just the truth. People trying to downplay shit. And make no mistake about it, with the success and drama of the first Fury fight, there's going to be a lot of return customers for this fight. It's going to do more than the first fight. So if I was Eddie Hearn, I would do a fair deal right now, not after this fight. Because I think this fight's going to do really good. I think Fury Wilder's going to do really good numbers.
Yeah, no, I think so too, man. And also the thing with what's to say? John put the comment, "Where do fighters come to make money?" And that comment also made me think about how cowardice Eddie Hearn and AJ are to avoid this Wilder fight and wanting to take it into a UK market. The market to make money, like you stated, our pay-per-views generate 3-1 as far as what people are paying for these pay-per-views. And if you a Wilder Joshua fight would have definitely did well over 1 million pay-per-view buys.
Just so I don't mean to interrupt you, Reggie.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Let me translate this for stupid people. Okay? If it costs less, it would have sold more. Okay? It might not have may not have generated the same, but it would have sold more. Algorithms are looked into, like they look into this stuff, right? So what do they know? They know that people tend to throw fight parties and stuff like that, or invite friends over, and they all pitch in for the fight, etc. This, there's a science behind this in terms of what they charge and all that. Okay, but I am telling you right now, it's gonna do more than $350K. No, Paul, it's gonna do more than that. Okay. It's going to do more. That's around what the first fight did. And the fight delivered. So they're going to get everyone who ordered it before to watch it. And they're going to get more. And they have the backing of Fox and ESPN. And speaking of stupid, okay, a lot of people that don't understand the business, all right, don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Okay, when it comes to this, Reggie. Did you see the people that came out and started talking about how Wilder, because you know how they say Wilder, right? Wilder, Fury had a 30-minute commercial. They're already 5 million down. Because, you know, it was 30 minutes, 5 million, right? In the commercials for the Super Bowl. You fucking morons. Fox had rights to the Super Bowl. They didn't pay one fucking cent. They're promoting their own shit. You fucking stupid idiots. Are you dumb? God damn. Like, those are not they're not paying themselves. They control the airwaves. They got 30 seconds to spare. No, it's not negative 5 million for every commercial that ran in the Super Bowl, you fucking idiots. But 100 million people saw it, though. 100 million people saw that fucking commercial. And they're going to see more. They're going to see it every First Take. Most popular sports show. I'm not a fan of it, but we can't deny the facts, right? It's the most popular sports show in the world. In the U.S., sorry. Undisputed. Fox and ESPN behind this event. I'm just telling you. Oh, no, but ESPN is going to do, they're both getting money out of it. Okay? They're like, Fox did not charge themselves, okay, for their own commodity to put a commercial on a Super Bowl. Don't be stupid. I'm just saying. Well, what do you think of that, Reggie, though? People saying that oh, look, they're dumb. Al Heyman's dumb. He's putting, he's wasting $5 million on a commercial. What do you think about that?
That's because these fools are coming out of that outdated ass market. The UK is outdated, like many things in the UK. Them being able to interact with us is opening them into newer things, but they still stuck in this archaic type model. You know, the Parliament over there got them locked into a backwards way of doing things, but now they're trying to modernize and advance these things. But they have to come to understand the way things operate here, and the way things operate in America is money driven. This is the money making center of the planet Earth. So anything happens in America ain't about underbidding itself, losing out on money. That's UK thoughts.
Let me tell you, bro. Well, Callie just said it too. 200 million combined viewers. That's on TV. We're not counting their websites that get a lot of traffic. ESPN.com, FoxSports.com. Okay, their social media on Twitter, Facebook. Their pages here on YouTube. I'm gonna tell you right now, all these people talking all this shit, Reggie, about the fight. Guess what ads are gonna be running their fucking video before they start talking this shit?
That fight.
Yeah, guess what fucking AdSense are going to be being thrown in their face? From who? This fight.
From this fight, yeah.
You know, they're going to do Wilder brings nothing. It's going to play a fucking Wilder Fury ad, okay, before the fucking event starts.
But you know what's crazy, even on top of that? As much as they generate traffic because they're constantly mentioning, even though they bring hate, you're mentioning it. And guess what else is going to happen? They're going to watch it. The same way people who wanted to watch Floyd Mayweather lose fights and they generate all this money behind it, that's exactly what's going on with these people.
And not only that, Richie, Floyd was almost 30 years old, bro. Or I think he was 30. I think it was 30 when he sold over $1 million. And it was against a guy that was already established in De La Hoya. You know what I mean? So it's you know, people said the same thing. Oh, Floyd doesn't generate anything. It's really De La Hoya. De La Hoya is a reason about which is partially true. Like, but once Floyd, you know, promoted himself a certain way, he started to become the hot commodity, whether people like it or not. Well, whatever reasoning you want, those were just the facts. Once Wilder starts selling even more, I mean, these guys are gonna look really dumb, bro. Okay, outside of Wilder maybe losing or getting knocked out by Fury, which I don't see happening. I don't think there's anything he could do to stop this. Okay. Yeah, well, we'll let you jump on really quick, for sure, Brooklyn Child. Let me give you the link. We'll let Brooklyn Child on, and then after that, I want to talk to you about Iowa, Reggie.
Yeah, get some politics in here. Yes.
The link's right there. Brooklyn Child Boxing, so he could give us his stats. But yeah, man, this is crazy. It's going to be interesting how this fight does, and then one thing of Eddie Hearn coming out, like, dude, there's no way Eddie knows like any of the facts regarding the ticket sales or anything like that. Okay, Eddie's full of shit. But let me get Brooklyn Child on here. What's up, Brooklyn Child? What's going on, bro?
Man, what's popping? What's popping? D Style, what's popping? Reggie, man, what's going on?
What's
Salute
up,
to the
bro?
chat.
Talk to us. What's on your mind?
Yeah, man. Earlier, man, y'all talk about Gary Russell, man. You know, me personally, man, he's one of my favorite fighters, man. I don't care what anybody says, man. It's unfortunate that he only fights once a year, but you know, he's somebody. I'm really looking forward to this fight because that Nyam, I believe his name, not Nyambayar, I believe his name is. That dude could fight. I've seen him fight before. That dude could fight. That's gonna be a very interesting fight. Like, people probably see the name and they say, "Oh, Nyambayar, he's probably a bum or something." No, sir, that dude could fight. So Gary Russell, man, he has a tough fight ahead of him. You know, I mean, he definitely has a tough fight ahead of him. You know what I mean? And
Who do you think wins?
What was that?
Who do you think wins?
Oh, I got Gary Russell. I feel Gary Russell. I don't think anybody beats him at 126. Unfortunately, he only fights once a year, and that does suck because selfishly, like, I want to see him fight more because I enjoy watching the guy fight. You know what I mean? But but despite that, I do feel he's the best at 126. Personally, that's just my opinion, and it's a reason why these guys ain't beating down the door to fight that man. It's a reason for that.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's doing just about everything, man. Like what he did with Leo Santa Cruz, and Leo he still didn't want to fight him.
You know what's crazy about Leo Santa Cruz? Because I actually went to the this is way back in December. I actually went to the Charlo and Harrison fight because despite my name, I actually live in California. You know what I'm saying? And I was at that fight, and Leo Santa Cruz was there too. Like he was in the crowd, taking pictures, smiling, taking pictures, stuff. And like after the fight, I actually I went to the gas station because because that venue was far from me. So I went to the gas station, get some coffee and water and stuff. And Leo actually walked inside the same gas station. I wanted to press him and tell him, yo, man, you got to fight Gary Russell, but he went to the bathroom and shit, so I wasn't gonna wait for him. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, Leo, man, yeah, he's something else, bro. But it looks like that he's about to fight Tank, which is a bullshit fight to me. And if they put that fight on pay-per-view, like, shit, I'm not paying for it.
Pay-per-view?
Yeah, they're trying to put that bullshit on pay-per-view, man. You believe that?
Yeah, man. That
90,000 buys, bro, right there.
Yeah, I ain't paying for that bullshit.
Yeah, me neither, man. I think it's a whole move by Tank. You lead the division, move up. Now you're moving back down when you got all this great talent at the division you at, and you trying to fight. Like, man, I hate fighters that. Oh man.
I mean, to be honest with you, man, like guys like all this stuff in the lightweight division, it's starting to be, and I think y'all mentioned this. Starting to be like the welterweight division. All this BS, Twitter beefing and all this crap, man. That's why, like, honestly, like Wilder, to me, and it goes back to Deontay Wilder, man. To me, I feel like he's the perfect representation of boxing. I mean, people want to say, "Oh, you don't got no skills," they're talking all this bullshit. But I feel like he's the perfect representation of a fighter. He's not into back and forth. He want to fight. You know what I'm saying? So win, lose, or draw, he has my support. He has my respect. You know what I'm saying? Word.
Absolutely, man. And Ronald Finkley says, see y'all chopping it up. Salute. Thank you very much for the donation. Shout out to Ronald Finkley. And I agree. I don't see that as a pay-per-view fight at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Child, man, any other thoughts you got, man? What's your prediction for Wilder Fury, bro?
Oh, Wilder Fury, man. Wilder knocking that full out. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna send Fury packing back to Gypsy Land. You know what I'm saying? That fool getting knocked out, man. You know what I mean? I could like for me, like as far as like when I see it happening, I'm predicting between the 4th and 6th round. You know, but to I guess to really nail it down, I'm thinking the 4th round. I'm really thinking like there's gonna be a first quarter fight. You know what I mean? I'm really thinking that because you know Fury like did all this stuff talking about he's gonna come in heavier and stuff. But my thing is, okay, if you come in heavier, that in the back of my mind is you coming in heavier, that you're not gonna have as much. You're not gonna have that shiftiness, that the head movement. You're not gonna be as fluent heavier. You know what I'm saying? So what you want? So you want to try to press the action and fight Wilder on the inside and stuff. I mean, despite Wilder's size, I mean, okay, as far as like he's not the biggest guy, but he's very strong. He's a very strong guy. Like, ain't nobody gonna just bully. No, I don't see any heavyweight bullying him on the inside. You know, and I just see he's gonna leave himself open. And then Wilder understands what he did in the first fight, because I feel in the first fight, and it was obvious that he was just he was just too excited. You know, he wasn't patient. He wasn't his normal self. You know what I mean? He did a lot of things in that fight I feel that was very uncharacteristic of how he's performed in the past. You know, I think he let the moment get to him. And even with that, he still knocked him down twice. And arguably, if you ask me, that fight should have. I like when Story B-Man speak about this. I definitely feel the ref should have stopped it. Jack Reese's punk ass, man, letting these guys batter, man. Don't even get me started with Jack Reese's bitch ass. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. I think even with him being overexcited, he still got the result. So him coming in, he had a great 2018. His last pay-per-view against Luis Ortiz, he wasn't all super excited. He wasn't, all pressing the action, being he didn't let the moment get to him. So he's learned from his previous experience. So going into this next fight, he's going to be cool, calm, collected, and the Gypsy Fiend is getting knocked out.
Yeah, man. We will not be saying hail to the Gypsy King. Okay, the dude, like Logic said, is going to be sent straight back to the WWE. Right?
Yes, sir. And and my last thing is after Wilder knocks out Tyson Fury, I want to see Wilder touch Dylan White with that right hand. You know what I mean? I want to see how Dylan White's body react when he gets touched with that right hand. I want to see how his body reacts. You know, I think he's gonna be the ultimate meme.
Right. Absolutely, man. We want to thank you for coming on, Brooklyn Child. Maybe one of the days you could join us for a full show.
Okay? Oh yeah, for sure. I'm gonna shoot you an email. I'm gonna shoot you an email on that for sure.
All right, no problem, man. Everybody subscribe to Brooklyn Child Boxing. We appreciate you coming on, bro. All right, and Logic says, can Fury hurt Wilder? We know Wilder can hurt Fury for sure. We know that for sure. And by the way, I have here, bro. Look, I got a present for Tyson Fury. All right. Yeah. Look at this, bro. A nice, it is like a nice, thoughtful present. You know what I mean? So you can lay his head, we can have it ready, right? Have somebody, ringside in the ring apron, and when he knocks him out, just slide it. You know what I mean? You're going to have to work on your game, the sliding game. And look, you have enough time. Like when he clocks Fury, and Fury's gonna go down because have you noticed he falls like timber like a tree? You know when a shot down a tree, Reggie, and it falls like slow.
Right. And he got two other drops that look similar to how he always falling.
Boom, and then he just moves slowly. So get that pillow in time, and then he could just slowly, just fall on the pillow and go night. So that's where he's going. He's going night, Reggie. Well, what a thoughtful present, right?
Very thoughtful. Christmas present. Early Christmas.
Or his birthday, whatever comes first. You know what I mean? But with that said, man, great show, by the way. Boxing Conversation with Reggie Owens every Thursday. All right. And people mentioning about Teofimo Lopez and Loma. Is it official? No Paul's asking. I don't know. But we'll talk about that fight when we get there. We will see, man. Interesting, but and for those, thank you for joining us for Boxing Time. We're going to dive into a little bit of politics here. It's just a warning. You guys don't have to stay. You know what I mean? But just letting you guys know, I'm a biased Yank. I guess so. Okay. Is there such thing as a Mexican Yank? Is that like a thing? I don't know. Reggie, what is a Democrat like? Do they just want to hand the election to Donald Trump? Is that what they're trying?
It's showing the hell seems like it, man. They can't get these conventions or these caucuses together for shit. Now, what that mess that happened in Iowa was ridiculous. And matter of fact, they're still counting this shit. This is the crazy and then you got this guy who comes out of nowhere and it's almost making it seem as is there some type of fix going in? Nobody's seen what's this guy named Berkedal? So I don't know what's going on. They had the same issues out here in Nevada when they had the caucus out here, and it was a lot of manipulative stuff going on. I think they almost had a fight at the caucus here because of what people seen what was going on as they're trying to do this shifting towards Hillary Clinton with the caucus here.
Buttigieg, his name.
Oh, Buttigieg, and I hear he's openly, but the thing with this thing is this party is really screwing it up. And
I appreciate that he's open about it. You know what I mean?
Right, but, in the closet.
but because there's a lot of Republican ones are in the closet. Like, I'm just telling you that right now. Okay, like for sure. All right, but ain't nobody know who that dude is, bro. I mean, come on, bro. Ain't nobody know who Buttigieg is, bro. No one knows who this dude is.
Right, and where all these votes come from?
Dude is an openly gay politician. People don't know who he is. They're like, you know what I mean? Like, think about that. Are you kidding me? What is it about these Democrats, man? They don't want Bernie Sanders to win.
Because Bernie doesn't stick to the Democratic agenda. He's not even really Democratic in his mindset. And that's what they're afraid of. Bernie will break Bernie away Sanders from. Mm-hmm.
It is, as far as his ideology, it's very close to like JFK or FDR. You know what I mean? He's following the same FDR, if anything, and I understand there's a lot of, like any president from decades ago, a lot of racist past and stuff like that. I get all that. But I'm talking specifically about the ideology. You know what I mean? In terms of having a middle class, social constructs, and things of that matter. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like when people say, "Oh, Bernie, he's a socialist," and dude, people don't even know what the fuck they're talking about, Rich. They don't even know what a socialist is.
And I see nothing wrong with socialism. I think governments they have to be blended as far as economic policies. You got to be blended government. Capitalism, it ain't the answer to everything.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. Of all these politicians, Ronald Finkley, the one that's for real is Bernie Sanders. Sorry. You know what I mean? The dude's like for real. Do I agree with everything Bernie says? No. Do I agree with every single policy? 100%? No. There's a spectrum with all policies. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of Bernie, when it comes to Bernie Sanders, love him or hate him, even if you don't like the guy, you can't ignore the fact that they clearly, the mainstream media, I mean, the way they attack Bernie, they don't go at Trump like that, bro. The way they attack Bernie Sanders.
Because Bernie brings this revolutionary shock to a lot of things that have kind of been the systematic or the status quo of how things are run. This dude's ideals are ahead of their time, and they're what needs to happen in this country. This country has been matter of fact, this country has started to regress itself and start to really pull apart the divide when it comes to income, the divide that comes into racial equality. Everything's being pulled back when things need to be stretched out and pulled forward. Our medical systems needs a whole revolution, and not just with the presidential election. We need a shitload of these Congress people pull the hell up out of the system, especially down in the South. What went on in that pardon yesterday was some ridiculousness, and it shows, it just shows to where these people don't uphold constitutional standards. They fall in line with loyalties to whatever this guy Trump wants to do. And you can't have people like that in this country. And this is kind of almost the climate of this country pre-Civil War. And this is the same thing. Leading up to the Civil War is right in the point of where we are with this divide.
Man, dude, look, Hillary comes out, right? And she's like, nobody likes Bernie. Oh, Bernie didn't do enough to help me, win the election and blah, blah, right? What is that about? Yes, he did. What's that about? Yes, he did. More Bernie Sanders supporters voted for Hillary than Hillary Clinton supporters voted for Barack Obama. That's just a fact. Okay, that's just a plain fact. Bernie did more campaign rallies for Hillary than Hillary did for Obama by far. Right? If anything, Bernie should be criticized about how much he campaigned for her after they screwed him the way they did. If anything, not the other way around. But when Bernie Sanders says something back, Bernie Sanders dividing the party. Bernie Sanders causing division. What? I don't get it, bro. And look, Ronald Figley, shout out. He's from Vermont, bro. He's one out of like four. Dude, 25% of Vermont's tuning in to D-Style Boxing Live right now. Look at this. There are only 5 people live over there, Small ass state. But shout out from the big state of Texas over here. All right. And all that. But I don't know, man. I have a bad feeling. If they're doing this in Vermont, you don't think they're going to do this in New York, California, Nevada, where there's another caucus, by the way. It's one of the last ones. I think they're going to end up screwing this dude, bro.
Yeah, they're going to try and it's going to ruin them again. That thing they pulled last year, there's no way Hillary should have won that nomination. The Democratic Party knew it. What leaked out about that lady, what's her name, Wasserman Schultz, the stuff that came out of that just showed the clear-sighted setup for Hillary to win this thing. It was regardless of what Bernie did, they were going to steal this nomination away from him. Anytime they went to campaign, Bernie Sanders drew ridiculous crowds. It just shows that there was this riling up of young voters. And that was the other thing. You had this huge excitement around young American voters that were getting out there along with the middle age. Hillary had campaign people that wanted to ignore 18, that range from 18 to about 20 something year voting range, and kind of play them off as if they don't have the intelligence to think on this level, and want to marginalize them, push them away when it comes to their wants, but wanting their votes. And Hillary just did everything when it comes to their campaigning in the Black community. Everything surrounds around rap. That's what youthful people do. You got to hold a higher standard of respect. She come into Watts. Somebody in Watts went off on her too. Watts, California out here. And she's in a restaurant ordering on the counter on some stereotypical shit she may have seen in a movie that depicts Black folks in a negative light. Her leaning on the counter. Like her campaign.
I apologize. Do you remember when Hillary went to the Breakfast Club?
I didn't know that. Oh, was this the one she said about hot sauce?
I was going to mention that. What the fuck was that? Wait. Oh, I always carry my hot sauce with me. What? Can you explain? What's going on with that? What's? I found that suspect as shit. But
yeah, it's pandering into this racial stereotype of what Black folks do, what they may have seen comic flicks, and thinking this is how all Black folks act. Because that's what she's doing when she going these.
Ain't nobody believes she carries hot sauce in her fucking bag.
Not at all. Even when she was in like a New York neighborhood in the Bronx, and she's acting like she's at the table with some local residents playing dominoes. Someone took a photo of the damn domino table. What she matched on there doesn't even go together. So it's her thinking she can be relatable to people of a community, but you playing it down to.
But by the way, let's say she did play dominoes. What the fuck does that have to do with? This is my problem with politics. You know what I mean?
Exactly, and her being out of touch.
Yeah, I know. Hillary Clinton is notorious for just changing her policy to whatever she thinks is trending at the moment. Look, man, they're gonna screw Bernie, bro. Like they're gonna screw him. It's gonna happen, and I hope people are. Andrew Charles, what's going on? I honestly believe that. You know, and I don't even know how Hillary Clinton presidency would look, bro. I just don't know. Because a lot of the things Trump is doing, see, the thing with Trump, bro, like Trump's annoying. You know what I mean? Like he's annoying. He's not presidential. And he does have a lot of horrible policies, but a lot of Hillary Clinton policies were the same shit, right? Trump just went about it differently politically. Like Trump, like demonized Latinos and talked about the wall. You know what I mean? Hillary didn't demonize Latinos, but she did talk about a barrier. It's the same shit. Okay, like it's the same thing. You know, she was still gonna put like whatever barriers between the border, they're gonna put that anyway. In fact, that's what they're putting. You know what I mean? Like that's been in the works since George Bush was president. You know, so I don't know. The whole thing is crazy, man. And but let's talk specifically about Iowa. First of all, they got to get rid of these caucuses, man. This whole like people get in a room and they talk and debate and engage in conversation, and then they come out with who's going to get more delegates, and then they're flipping coins like well, what the fuck is this? And then I'm seeing Bernie Sanders got 6,000 more votes, but he's going to get less delegates than Buttigieg. What the fuck's going on? What are they doing? Just cast a fucking vote.
Yeah, exactly. And this is where they're going to lose people at, man. This is where this party is failing, man. And now they bring in this new dude to kind of move away from the scandal that popped off from the last election. And here they come in with this, what something crashed with the way they counted the votes. This old delegate count system is ridiculous. And that's what almost caused the scuffle at the debate. I mean, at the caucus that happened here the last time. But it leads to too much corrupted type stuff, like what you stated. Vote. We live in a modern era. We ain't with this way elections was done in the 1800 type shit. Break away from these old customs and modernize this shit and get ahead with it. But this party is losing itself when it can be a party when it comes in its own way. There are more registered Democratic voters, but when you pull this type of stuff, people stay away from these damn polls because they see the corruption.
There's only two parties, bro. Right? So I want you guys to think about this for a second, okay? If you're a donor, right? Let's say that because there's dudes that donate millions so they can get billions in subsidies, okay? Right? Like we do have socialism in this country, but it's for the rich, right? You know, all the subsidies for oil companies, the whole nine, okay? Military contractors and stuff donate to the politicians. What do they get in return? $billion contracts, okay? I'm not saying they put the billions in their pocket, but to their industry, right? Common sense. But what do you guys think about this for a second? If you want your policies to pass, right? So let's take the military-industrial complex as an example. All right. And all you guys got to do, you use your common sense. And I think it's going to make sense for a lot of you guys. A lot of it isn't Illuminati, backdoor shit. Like life's not that complicated. It's really simple. If you're a military contractor, Reggie, right? And you see someone that's going to is campaigning like a Bernie Sanders to decrease the military budget, which means you're not going to get as much money, right? And let's say a guy with that type of is in a state like Colorado or Texas or, whatever state. Why wouldn't you get a puppet, okay, that talks about gay rights and distractions, LGBT community and how racist Trump is and all this other stuff, right? And that's why people vote for him or her. But in the end, this puppet is going to do your bidding when it comes to casting votes in the Senate, right? So when they're going to pass a bill, Cory Booker, right, to increase the military budget, after you're always talking about how dangerous Trump is as a commander in chief, right? I think Kamala Harris as well, by the way, right? Some other politicians out there. Only 4 or 5 of them voted against the bill, right? I mean, wouldn't you put money in for some puppets?
Hell yeah, they do it. That's the way it runs.
That's what they do. You know what I mean? You ever scratch your head? Like all you guys got to do is like look at what they say, what comes out of their mouth, and look at how they vote. That's all you got to do. It's not that complicated. Like, how can you, right? If you think about it, does it make sense, Reggie, that Cory Booker, talks about, I want to save Obamacare and they want to take away your health care, these evil Republicans, right? Bernie Sanders tried to pass a bill to reduce the price of prescription drugs. How? Not with socialism, by the way, with competition, 100% capitalism, by allowing Americans to buy pharmaceutical drugs legally from places like Canada, while the same drugs is cheaper, right? Oh, Cory Booker voted against that. Guess who donates to get Cory Booker?
Probably pharmaceuticals.
He's a pharmaceutical lapdog. Okay, all you got to do, guys, there's a correlation. Look at who donates their money to them. When they were doing the pipelines over there in North Dakota, okay, on Native American lands, all right, and forced it on them, like didn't ask them or anything, because they were going to run a pipeline, but it was going to be in a white town. The white people said, "Hey, you're going to run no pipeline here. What the fuck you doing?" And look, I'm not even mad at them. Why would you want a fucking pipeline that could leak and explode? You know what I mean? By all means. So they said, no, okay, fine. They ran it down, bro. Like Native American land, who they agreed and signed a treaty and said, this is your land, the whole nine, right? And somewhere where it was sacred land, by the way, that the natives considered sacred land. And it forced it down their throat, right? The only politician I knew that spoke out about that was Bernie Sanders. That's it. He's the only one. Because the company that was doing the pipeline, when you look into it, you know who owns stock with that company?
Who was that? Oh, don't say Hillary.
Elizabeth Warren. Okay, Donald Trump. Okay, Republicans and Democrats. You think they were going to go out of the way to stop the pipeline? By the way, no one saw, like, the only reason they caught, right, what the cops were doing to the natives, okay, was because someone filmed it. You know what I mean? So like, I'm just saying. And they said the natives were the ones that are being the aggressors. Even though all you see on camera is them with cannons of water, by the way, like, dude, in the cold, bro. This is North Dakota. You know what I mean? Dude, if they did that to civilians, like, if they did that in a white town, bro, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying. So at the end of the day,
And it's crazy. I was glad you brought that point up with that dispute on that sacred native land, and the only thing stopping it was when it was going through a white town, and it just shows how deeply racial everything's become. And this is why I be on people about this election thing, where people play around with it. and thinking presidents are puppets. They're not. This is the most powerful position in the goddamn world. This is why so much money is thrown into it, because on top of that, say even if the president is a puppet, the appointments he makes are some very crucial appointments. And Donald Trump came in. This is where the Democrats F everything up, because when this election that Donald Trump ended up winning came at a critical time. You had Supreme Court justices that were dying. He had 2 appointments. The Republicans running Congress, they putting all these holds on what is it? I forget the process, the name of it, where they go through confirmation, matter of fact, where they put a roadblock to where Obama couldn't even go about
confirmation hearings.
Yeah, couldn't go about confirming his picks for the Supreme Court when he had 2 of them sitting on the table. And this is what made it so crucial that a Democrat got into where they became president. And the Democrats effed it up by trying to be so corrupt, swaying things. Now we got 2, and this is what's affecting Supreme Court elections.
They got no balls, bro. Okay, let me tell you something. Right? Obama in 2006-07, first of all, annihilated Hillary Clinton. You think Trump beat Hillary good? Obama slaughtered her in her own party, by the way, destroyed her, right? Like just flat out. Obama ran in terms of, he basically insinuated very strongly universal health care, okay, getting the troops out of the Middle East, getting them out of Iraq. This dude, he looked like he was to the left of Bernie, all right? Now, once he got elected, he governed differently, like without a doubt. You know what he said? He said that once he got in office, he realized why some things were done for national security. That's why he left troops in Afghanistan and all that. Okay. All right. Here's the problem with Democrats, bro. And I honestly believe this. They're the Washington Generals and all this, bro. Right? The Harlem Globetrotters, that those dudes to make them look good. A lot of these dudes, the Harlem Globetrotters, right?
No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if they're still the Washington Generals, but they had that team they always beat and stuff. You know what I mean? So they'll put on a show. That's what the Democrats are, essentially. That's why they're weak. Dude, it's unbelievable how weak they are. They just bend over backwards. So to give you an example, Obama had the presidency, all right? He had the Senate, and he had the House, all right? And many people believe that, the Republicans just came out in droves and just won the House or the House back 2 years later. No, it wasn't droves. The turnout wasn't that good, right? Because people did not like what they were seeing from Obama, okay? The people that voted for him. People came out and they heard all these stories about hope and change. And remember all that, Reggie?
But I don't think it was Obama they didn't turn out. The people running for office didn't do a goddamn thing campaign-wise.
But here's the thing, okay? Obama gets in office, controls he can easily pass all the bills he wants, okay? He could have done universal health care. He was in a position to do it, all right? He didn't do it. Why? Because he started in the middle, all right? He gave them a compromise deal but without compromising. You know what I mean? He didn't make them meet him in the middle. He started in the middle. And what did they do? The Republicans played politics from jump, right? From jump, they played politics. Record amount of, filibusters. And you mentioned it earlier, not doing confirmation hearings and the whole nine. All right. Record. Unprecedented. Yet still, Obama wanted to work with them. He wanted to prove that he could work with them. That's just not the way it's going to work with this Republican Party. It's just not the way it's going to work. It just isn't. People are tired of that. You know, they're tired of like the Republicans just saying whatever they want, you know, and the Democrats just bowing their head to them all the time. But I honestly believe the reason we see that, because many, maybe not all of them, but many of these Democrats are just pawns, bro. They have the same donors, bro, in many cases. There's donors that donate to Democrats and Republicans. You know what I mean? One side is giving them what they want. The other side is not giving them resistance. That's what it is. You know, but to John out there, man, look, man. Look, Venezuela, you know, people throw Venezuela out there, right, Reggie? But Venezuela is not the only country that has socialism in it. Japan has socialism in it. Norway has socialism in it. A lot of countries have socialism in them. And they're not falling apart and eating zoo animals. So there's a lot of fear mongering going on. What like all Bernie wants to do, right, is get if you get sick, we got you. You're covered, right? If God forbid you get leukemia, you're covered. That's it. What's so complicated about that?
And it's crazy. People knock the ideals of socialism. People play into shit they don't understand. Just like back in the eras of communists and this and that, and the communists are the evil people, and that was just a bunch of bullcrap. When people look forward to it, communism wasn't a threat like that. When it comes to socialism being implemented, it should be implemented, especially in things like Medicare. There's no way a medical system should be privatized or made towards profit. It's something that should be ran by doctors. Doctors have zero control in the medical system. You got insurance companies that run everything. They set the price on everything. They tell doctors what they can, what they can't do. And these people don't know shit about anything to a human's anatomy. And the same thing in the pharmaceutical industry.
Here's the worst part.
Yeah.
A lot of these medicines and stuff are publicly funded, bro. Taxpayers pay for it, right? And what do they do? They patent it and then they hike up the price. Like they'll sell it for an outrageous amount of money. And I am sorry, there's no reason we should be paying 10 times the amount or more than people in Canada are. That is inexcusable. Okay. So,
and especially with our population and our health issues, cost of all this shit should be very low. It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely, man. With that said, Reggie, I want to thank you for joining me once again, man. We're back on this grind. Okay. This is Boxing Conversation. Reggie Owens, give me your final thoughts, bro.
Man, yes, indeed, man. I'm glad we had this talk blended in with some politics. And also, I see Callie going in on logic, and I agree with Callie. And logic, this economy ain't doing the ish that you think it is. At any moment, this market can crash. It's being volatile as hell. People seeing stock numbers. You have nothing that's helping you in the stock market. That's a market that's helping 1%.
You want me to be honest? Anyone who was doing good before Trump is still doing good.
Exactly.
Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed.
These are Obama politics, but at some point, that market's going to hit its cycle, because the stock market is always a roller coaster cycle, and it's up here and it's going to go down. Yeah. Wages ain't doing nothing. Unemployment is stagnant. Things are going to change. That's the cycle of economics.
And you know what? And to be honest with you, you want to know the sad part about all this, bro? Like the saddest part?
What's that?
Or most ironic part, I should say. You know Obamacare, like who benefits the most from it?
People in the rural parts of this country.
Especially the South. A lot of them are Trump supporters. They just don't know that it's Obamacare. Okay, that's it. Okay? They're the ones that benefit the most from it. And they're voting against your own fucking interests. Like, it's unbelievable to me. Like, honestly. It's unbelievable to me. So, It's like whatever to me. You know what I mean? Like if Trump wins, they think they're winning, but like they're not, bro. Like so it's like whatever to me. Okay. Of course, if you got money and a bunch of stocks and stuff like that, you can argue that. But bro, I just think it's gonna crash, bro. And I knew a dude here on YouTube that he even admitted on a YouTube video that Obamacare saved his life. He admitted it. He said, if it wasn't for Obamacare, I wouldn't have gotten this surgery that saved my life. But I don't think it's fair that we're taking money from other people that's not our money. And he went on to other. If you really felt that way, you shouldn't have taken the fucking surgery then. All right? How about that? You should just stay home and not take their money and just fucking die and shit. If you really believe that. And, and I say a lot of critical things about Joe Rogan, by the way, but there's one thing he said that really resonated with me, and I think said it very well. Okay. Like for all the people that talk about how, well, look at me, man. I don't have health care. I take care of myself. I never needed it. And I picked myself up on the bootstraps. Nah, you're fucking lucky. Okay. You're lucky you haven't been hit by a fucking disease. You're lucky you haven't gotten cancer. You're lucky you weren't born with fucking leukemia. You're lucky. You should be thankful for that. But all of us collectively can easily take care of people that unfortunately get leukemia. Okay? That unfortunately get sick. That we can collectively do that. But that's what I think. So that's that. Once again, Reggie, thank you for joining me. This is D-Style Boxing. Keep it boxing. We're out, guys.